All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good day. This is Dr. Kesslin of Great Stenis, and I am so thankful for this opportunity to come and to share with you. I love the theme of the conference. It is the new academic innovation hub. I love it. Entrepreneurial practices for post-pandemic prosperity. It didn't say survival, it said prosperity. I love it. I am so delighted to be here to discuss the topic resilience, making it in order to make it. I have been given the task of presenting on this topic. And so I am thankful for this opportunity. Just wanted to share with you a little bit about who I am and why I may have been asked to present on this topic of resilience. I am a full professor in the Department of Social Work, and I'm also an Elkins professor through the University System of Maryland. I am honored to have those two positions. But I'm also the executive director for the Dr. Dorothy I. Height Center for the Advancement of Social Justice. And so I'm a former chair of the department. I'm no longer chair of the department, but I continue to hold the leadership in the Dorothy I. Height Center. In addition, I am an entrepreneur. I own a business, and my business is Kesslin Enterprises, LLC. It is the company, the parent company of the PhD Consultants, where I am the lead consultant and doctoral coach. And so you'll learn more about me, but I wanted to provide a bit of context so that you can understand a bit about how I see this topic of resilience as a social worker and as a leader and a business person. So I'm going to start by just giving you about 10 seconds to take a look at this picture. This picture, tell me, write down what you see. What do you see? First glance. 3, 2, 1. Usually when I show this picture at a training, people say they see a track field or football field. They see that the person has on running shoes, running gear, they're ready. They see a shadow. Some people see falling rain. Some people see a field that is in disrepair, but yet the person is still running. They see a person who is actually running, and the person is at the 50-yard line. So there are a lot of innuendos in this picture, but in essence, what I see in this picture are troubles, right? We see a field in disrepair. We see that it's raining. Those are trials. And yet we see triumphs. We see that the person has come a long way in their journey. We see that their feet are off the ground. They are actually in the running process, but they're not where they're at the finish line yet. They are along the journey. And this picture, to me, epitomizes what we mean by resilience. And so what is resilience? Resilience is about cultivating the capacity to sustain development in the face of expected and surprising changes that come from diverse places and pathways, but they help to develop us. They help to show us the potential thresholds in between so that we can overcome resilience. Resilience is considered persistence or adaptability or transformability to complex adaptive socio-ecological systems. And it is the focus of clarifying the dynamics and looking forward into what can be. So in essence, resilience is moving forward despite the challenges, moving forward despite the challenges. In 2002, I moved to Washington, D.C. to attend Howard University's doctoral program. And it was in the doctoral program that I met my friend, my colleague, my good buddy, Anthony Hill. He is now Dr. Anthony Hill, program director, chair of the undergrad and graduate programs at Winthrop University. But Earlier in his career, he was a full-time professor, assistant or associate professor in social work at Delaware State University. And during that time, while he was there had been an increase in suicides in Delaware. I believe that there was an increase specifically in male suicides in Delaware. And so Dr. Hill proposed a project called Project Resilience. And it is a community-based initiative designed to prepare youth and young adults to use their inner strengths and mobilize family, community, and cultural resources when faced with inner strength and challenges. And so Dr. Hill developed Project Resilience. I'm going to present some topics about resilience in the academy and show you how these elements have been used through my experience in the academy and as an entrepreneur to combat the issues of resilience, to help us to become more resilient, to help us make it so that we can make it through, all right? And so let me tell you more about Project Resilience. Its target age was 17 to 24. It's theoretical frameworks. I'm a social worker, so we talk about theoretical frameworks. The strengths perspective, which means that we all have strengths, we all have some positive attributes. The ecological perspective, which means that elements in our ecology and our system work together. And cognitive behavioral theory. Cognitive behavioral theory suggests that our thinking impacts our behavior. These are the underlying assumptions or theoretical frameworks for Project Resilience. Project Resilience has 4 core values or 4 core elements, as they are called: community, self-writing, creativity, and vision. Okay, so there are 4 elements, and we're going to talk about how they connect to resilience, specifically how they can help us make it so that we can make it. All right, and these 4 elements can be mobilized during times of adversity. What are the benefits of mobilizing these elements? Well, there are individual resources that are benefits. There are relationship resources that are benefits. There are communal resources that are benefits, and there are cultural resources that are benefits. I'm going to give you an example from my position as former chair, executive director of the Dorothy Height Center, as well as from my experience as an entrepreneur. I'm going to show you how all of the core values, core elements, and how the benefits kind of align to help us move forward individually and collectively. So the first principle, I believe I have about 10 more minutes. So the first principle is the principle of community. In our system, in our world, we have a community in our social context. The members of the community can include family, friends, neighbors, right? Civic organizations, schools, hospitals, churches, faith communities. At its best, community is a broad base of strength to lean on when challenges arise. I learned this lesson when I came to Coppin State University as the brand new chair in the Department of Social Work. I was a new chair who was stepping into some big shoes. Dr. Errol Bolden was my immediate predecessor, and Dr. Shirley Newton-Guest was his predecessor, both of whom were on faculty, and they left some large shoes for me to fill. One of the things that I realized that I didn't have, because I'm not native to Baltimore, I was not familiar with the Coppin culture, was that I needed community, right? If I was going to be able to fulfill the responsibilities that the dean asked of me upon hiring me and the faculty asked, I needed to build a community. I needed to have relationships. And so I decided to develop an advisory board, which included alumni and community members. People were referred to the advisory board, people that I knew, people I didn't know, but we came together for the common good of building our department. As a result, I'm so thankful to have developed a relationship with all of the advisory board members. We've worked on grants together. We've worked on developing programs together. We worked on making opportunities for our students. One of the grants that we have been able to maintain for the last 3, maybe 4 years is the Caress grant through the Baltimore City Health Department. This came directly as a result of building a community. We have received the grant. We've prepared at least 20 future sexual health advocates who are social workers. And the grant has provided operational support and resources for the department. So our students have gotten resources, our department has gotten resources, and our agency, the providers of the grant have gotten what they needed from this grant. So building community has helped us maintain when we didn't have paper and pens and resources. We've been able to, through our community networks, provide some of the resources. They have been beneficial. The second core principle is self-writing. Self-writing. It is the unique way in which individuals apply their personal strengths to overcome challenges and loss. That is what self-writing is. In social work, we use language called like engagement and assessment and planning. You're gathering information using your own skills and your own personality to gather as much information as you can to develop a plan that is to be implemented. This was also engaging in self-writing was a process that also helped us to be resilient in these last 7 years. And so the second example that I'm going to give is about self-writing, and it relates to our programmatic accreditation. And we're actually going through this process again in this post-pandemic era. There was a presenting problem, and the presenting problem was that our accreditation was supposed to happen in about 1.5 years, and we did not have the data that was needed, that was required for us to successfully complete that process. And so in order to self-write, I had to use my communication strengths and my network of people to reach out. And I requested an extension. That was a part of the self-writing process. And I developed strategies for our department to collect the data. I didn't do it alone. Remember, I already had this community of wonderful faculty and students and advisors, some of whom had been program directors, and they helped to guide me through and to share with me what I should do in order to self-write. And so we developed strategies and collected data and presented the data. And as a result, we had the major resource, which was the accreditation, the reaffirmation of our social work program. Self-writing is the process of using your strengths to acknowledge the challenges and to help address ways to meet them. So self-writing and community are pivotal elements of being resilient. The third element, according to Dr. Anthony Hill, is creativity. I love creativity. I love developing new ideas and putting them into place. And so creativity is very important as it relates to resilience. It is the ability to bring creativity into problem solving and conflict resolution. Creativity describes the ability to consider positive alternatives to challenges in order to make things work. One of the challenges that I faced, that I saw that existed, was that there is limited support for people who were pursuing their doctoral degree, especially people of color who had limited resources, right? There was little support that was available, and they needed doctoral guidance. And so literally in the middle of the night, this creative thought came to me, and I said, I've been helping people all along, my friends, my colleagues who were in doctoral programs, but it hit me in the middle of the night, wait, I can develop a business that allows me to empower people and to share words of wisdom and enlightenment as far as I have, so that people can grow and develop and that I can help build scholars. This was exciting to me. This was in like 2012, 2013. And since that time, the business has grown and it's going to continue to grow. We have a presence on Facebook and IG and YouTube, etc. We have prepared about 20 doctors, probably, and we've touched hundreds more through our posts. And I can't tell you the number of people who just send me emails or message me to say, thank you so much. This message touched me. There are approximately 10 members who are in the current cohort and approximately 20 doctors that we've helped. And I'm proud to say that we have a 100% success rate. It all came as a vision in the middle of the night, creativity, but it has grown, and I've grown the business, and we continue to grow. So I'm excited about that. Resilience, creativity is a very important part of resilience. I have a few more minutes. So the last core principle or core value is vision. Vision. The fourth element of project resilience, according to Dr. Hill, is vision. It is the worldview that others hold. A strong personal vision is a view of how the world works and our place in the world, and guides our sense of purpose. It is said that without a vision, we will perish, we will die. Vision is critical. Through vision, a goal or a dream that seems inconceivable can be pulled into the realm of possibility. I love that. Through vision, just seeing what could be, you're able to pull it into the realm of possibility. When I first came to Coppin, one of my charges was regarding accreditation, but the second charge was to expand the Dr. Dorothy I. Height Center. It had been developed under our former president, Dr. Reginald Avery, but it had been stagnant at some point. And so my charge was to build the vision. One way that I wanted to do this was to bring students on board. And the second was to develop an HBCU conference that focused on the tenets of the Dorothy Height Center, which was women's empowerment, women's focus, and social justice. And so the HBCU Student Leadership and Social Justice Conference evolved. We have had 4 conferences to date. We've touched about 500 students, faculty, staff, and community members in the last 4 years. This was our first year of it being virtual. I'll tell you, I just knew that it had to happen, but I also had members of the team like Dr. Geronda Burley and Dr. Gary Jones and Dr. Claudia Thorne, and our students and Professor Karen Allen, who added to the vision, and we all helped to bring it to pass. This past year was a virtual conference. It was amazing. It was amazing. We cast the vision and it has come to pass, and it will continue. And so those are 4 examples of how we pull together the components of project resilience to make it happen. We were not going to make it. We were not going to make it. But with all of the elements of project resilience, we made it so that we could make it. We now have funds and resources and student interns and ways to do outreach and community engagement. We have brought some things to pass, and we will continue to grow. We have not reached our destination yet. We understand that we must commit to making it if we are going to make it. I want to be there today, but we're not there today. I have to recognize that it's a journey. We're not at the destination, but this is a process. It's a journey, whether as an entrepreneur, an academician who is you're trying to make a way when there are little resources. I want to encourage you to be resilient and consider ways of how you can make it. Thank you so much for allowing me to share, for allowing me to wear all of my hats. This has been wonderful. I've been able to wear my academic hat and my mentor hat and my presenter, speaker hat, and my entrepreneur hat, my business owner hat. So I'm very thankful. This is a unique conference, and I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to be here. I can be reached anytime, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I look forward to having the Q&A with you shortly. Bye-bye.